Well, it's not Friday, but today we're going to be doing a free plugin. I missed Free Plugin Friday because I wanted to do this plugin. I'm recording this on Sunday. I think it will come out tomorrow, which is Monday by the time I edit it. But today we are looking at some awesome plugin from one of my favorite plugin manufacturers, and that is Slate Digital. We are looking at Fresh Air. Now, I didn't even know this plugin was going to be free. And I'm not sure how long it's free for. I'll put the links in. If you're with Slate and you have the Slate bundle, of course it's included in that as well. But I believe it is now free for anyone right now. I think you just need to have an iLok cloud. I think that's the way the licensing works for the free side. But that is really not the point. The point is Slate dropped a bunch of new plugins. 2 new plugins, this is one of them, and one is the much awaited for LA2A emulation. I've been asking for Slate to do an LA2A for ages because it is my favorite compressor, hands down favorite compressor. Now, it's mainly for vocals based acoustic guitars and stuff, but I love LA2As. But that is not what we're looking at right now. We are looking at Fresh Air. So Fresh Air is actually kind of doing what I like to do on nearly all my vocals. It is, I'm not exactly sure what the algorithm is, but it's basically a high-end boost using a bunch of compression and high-end tricks to give you this extra air, this extra crispiness to your sound, basically. And I often do this in various methods. You've got the Dolby A trick that was used by Def Leppard, also John Lennon and a bunch of other people, which is basically what you do is you send signal through a Dolby A noise reduction circuit, but you mod part of it so that it doesn't basically take the treble back down afterwards. Because the way those circuits work is they boost the treble with expanders and stuff and compression, and then do the reverse process after tape so that you get the same kind of EQ but less noise. And you take off the end bit and you've got this boosted high end, which is really nice. So I often do it like that or using multi-band compression, but this plugin just does it for me without all the other hassle, which is really cool. So we're going to test it out on so many things today. I think it's just fair to do it that way. No, I just want to check. Yep, cool. Yeah, we're going to test it out on heaps of things. Now, first off, we've got my track Animal, which I released on Halloween. We're going to try it on all the vocals there. I've taken off all the high-end boosting stuff I did for the actual song. So we're going to try it on a few elements there. We're going to try it on a few other instruments. Then we'll try it on some female vocals and maybe some loops and stuff as well, because it's the kind of plugin that is really going to bring out new life and enhance kind of different sounds. Anything that sounds a bit dull or needs a little bit more kind of energy in the high end, this is what this plugin excels at. Now, of course, it's easy to overhype everything and just add heaps of high end, so you got to be careful, but that's just generally mixing 101. So maybe we'll start with the lead vocal. Now, normally lead vocals, I don't do this a lot too. I prefer doing on backing vocals and having a really hyped backing vocals, harmonies and stuff. If you listen to Def Leppard, as I gave an example before, there's a lot of this. You hear that the harmonies and all the doubles and stuff are hyped to hell, and it's really cool sound. But we'll look at it on vocals because people may want to use it on vocals. Now, my singing is quite terrible in this song, I'm going to be honest. But that's not really the point of this review. It's looking at what this plugin can do. So let's go to give me 1 second, the chorus lead, the actual chorus lead. We'll just listen to it by itself, and then we'll add some of Fresh Air. So this is not the copy we want. So I'm using a fair bit of Slate stuff already, and I'm using a little bit doubling and stuff, some de-essing, some more de-essing. I don't remember why I had so many de-esses going. But I did, and we've also got a bunch of plugins here. So I've turned Revival off because that was doing some high end, that was doing some low end too, and I bring down the boost a bit. It's probably still a bit hyped, but anyway, let's just listen to it without Fresh Air. I'm going to try and leave Fresh Air here somewhere. So let's go there, and we'll just see what each of the bands do.
Kiss me, please.
So I'll turn it off.
I'm just an animal.
Let me just check.
Me bleed. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
So there's already plenty of highland in this. So like I said, I'm not probably going to use it too much on this kind of vocal.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me see.
There's a bit of distortion going on as well. But anyway, let's put it in.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an
So this is the mid band.
Me bleed. I'm just an
And we've boosted heaps of that upper mids. It's not really harsh. Let's try the high end cycle. We'll turn the mids off.
I'm just an animal. Make me see.
You've got all that air. Listen to S's.
I'm just an animal.
Now it does bring up some of the artifacts you have from the auto tune and stuff. It's not only auto tune. I've just used a little bit of tuning there, and like I said, my singing's not great in this. But yeah, let's just run it again. You can hear what high air does properly. Turn it back down.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me bleed.
So both of them together.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
Let's bring the trim back down.
Me see. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
So that really kind of adds heaps of that high end. And now, of course, like I said, you can take it too far, but it's very different from just adding treble. If I added treble, that'd be really, really harsh. Instead, this is like smooth high end. It puts it all together, glues it in. But where I like to really use it is on doubles. So what we're going to do is open Fresh Air here on this the second track, which is the double, which is tuned a lot harder. We're going to turn it off on the main vocal. So let's just listen to the double by itself.
Kiss me, please.
So Fresh Air off.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me bleed. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just
Compression's really heavy on this because I really needed to control those loud bits.
me see.
Just going to
I'm just an animal.
loop the section. Okay, so let's turn it on.
Kiss me, please. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me bleed. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
So the idea is to make it very airy and not very natural, and then mix it in with the lead vocal. Let's put them together then.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
And I didn't loop it. Here we go.
Kiss me,
So off. So it's only on the double. Just remember that.
I'm just an animal. Make me bleed.
Turn it back on.
I'm just an animal.
Now we put it in the
I'm
mix.
just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
And when we go back around, I'll bypass it.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Kiss me, please. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me
On.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me see. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Yes.
So you can really gives that kind of hype to the. Let's give it that. Really gives that hype to those vocals in that double. And that really helps them kind of separate them from the lead. The lead does the main work of the normal sounding vocals, even though this is very heavily kind of compressed and stuff. And then the Fresh Air does all this other kind of airiness and brings out this extra dimension. Now, where I really, really like it is on group vocals. So we're going to get just the harmonies here. So we've got the animal, you could hear them before. There's for the doubles and harmonies on the animal. So let's just solo that.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
Now if we put Fresh Air in, Now we'll use the controls a bit. So like there's a trim, mid-air and high air. You can also lock them together and drive them up. So I really like having plenty of high air for this. Let's drive even harder. Yeah. Okay, starting again. Let me just bring that trim back. Wish there was automatic gain compensation, but there isn't. You know, can't have everything. So much more height. Might bring the high air down a little bit. Let's put that with the other two vocals. So I'll bypass it as we go back.
Yes, me, please. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me bleed.
And then I'll bring it back in for the next one.
I'm just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Make me see. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
Okay, now in the whole mix.
I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. Let me breathe. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal. I don't know why. I'm just an animal. I'm just an animal.
Okay, so I'm going to turn both fresh airs off. So we had it on the extra vocals, we had it on the double. Okay, this is bypassed. No fresh air. Put it on. So you can hear how it breathes a lot of life into those vocals and makes them kind of hyper and like over the top, which is kind of what I want in this kind of thing. Now, obviously, if you're going for like a soul jazz thing, you might not want that, but it's not really for that. It's for getting a bit more kind of interesting hype. Now, I do want to try it on clean guitars. Okay, so now we have some rhythm guitars. Now, these are already really, really bright. So I'm not going to be as heavy-handed here with the plugin, but basically you can see how you can add that air to guitars as well. I've taken off some of the boosts I've already got and to see how fresh air does. So we'll start with the mid band, I guess. Pretty compressed there. Put it in the mix. Let's turn it up a little bit. Maybe just a little bit more. In the mix, that's fairly subtle, but it does add that nice air. Like I said, don't overdo it, but it kind of works in this context. And if you have some very dull sounding guitars, these are already very bright. These are my AC50, I'm using Tellys. If you have some dull sounding guitars, of course, fresh air can then bring them to this level. Now, we will look at it on some loops, some darker sounding loops later in this video, because I think that's where this is going to work really well. I tend to record stuff already fairly bright. Now, I did want to check it on drums. I mean, these drums are bright, but I just want to see what it can do without getting harsh. So let's go to the drum bus. So we now have it on drums. Now, these drums are already pretty bright. Like I said, most of the stuff on this song's already kind of mixed, but let's just hear what it can do and see if it kind of does anything useful on drums. I'm going to link them. Of course, it's way too bright. But it's also still not really that harsh. I mean, there's a little bit of harshness in there, but the way it compresses stops doing that. Now, it's way too compressed, way too bright. Probably don't even want that much high air. Really changes that mid frequency by doing this. It's all polishy now. And compresses. You can hear it compressing that snare a bit. I think if you use this in conjunction with like a low plugin, it could work really well, because obviously as I'm compensating for the volume the highs are adding, we're going to lose low end because of the difference in volume there. You could get some cool sounds that way. I mean, it's not my first thing I'd go do for drums unless it was really dull sounding and just adding treble didn't work. Last thing, I want to try it on the entire mix. Now, I think we'll go to a different section of the song because I want to see how it goes. We're going to go this whole outro section and we're going to put it on the actual stereo mix. So now we've got it on the master bus. Now, I've seen people use it on the master bus on a few videos. It's not the first thing I'd grab. Maybe, again, if you have a really dull mix, this is not really a dull mix. I kind of like my bright mixes. But, again, so we're just going to do it from this section. I just want to see how it goes. Okay, that's just super hyped, way too hyped. Let me bring this down a bit. Really does change the sound there. It's a bit too heavy-handed for me. Maybe if we go a bit lower down. Again, maybe it isn't needed, maybe it is. It kind of can do something, but again, you've got to be very careful what you do. Now, I want to go to female vocals and I want to try it on some loops and stuff because I think this is where it's going to really come in to be useful for you. So I'm going to open up another project. Okay, so this is Sound a Little Life by Team Love. I released this song a couple years ago. Well, they released a song, I recorded it for them. And I did go for a very hyped vocal in certain sections. Now, I did this various ways. One way was using this parallel track. Now, what I did was use RVox and then a bunch of high-end boosts in parallel. And so that gave me this sound. So I'm just going to play that track. Got the listen function on, so it's a bit louder. With the people that you know. So what this track did was add this. Now, I didn't have it this loud, but yeah, you get the point. And part of the reason I didn't is when I did my first mixes, the band came back to me and said, can we get it a little less hyped, a little bit more kind of lo-fi. It's still probably a bit too trebly when it came down to the end master, but that's another story. But yeah, so that's what I was going for. So we just listen to the vocals.
In my sad little life of laying low. Oh, in my sad little life of laying low. And I wouldn't I'm basking in the glow. I know it's not much as far as great romances go.
I used a bit of F6 too.
Not to sort of hang
turn it off.
around with the people that you know. In my sad little life of laying low.
So what I want to do is turn off the parallels, and what we're going to do is, let's just mute it, listen to the harmonies and listen to the main vocals. And yeah, basically use Fresh Air to kind of do what I did with a bunch of plugins and a bunch of parallel stuff. So this is, how do I just get just the harmonies? Let's go.
I know it's not much as far as great romances go.
Okay, let's try the mid band.
And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know.
Bit of highs.
In my sad little life of laying low.
Thing I like about this plugin is it doesn't really get harsh. It obviously changes the structure, but these vocals could easily get harsh if I just added treble.
And I wouldn't say I'm basking in the glow.
Completely changes the high end.
I know it's not much as far as great
Possibly a bit too much.
romances go. And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know. In my sad little life of laying low. And in my sad life of laying low.
Okay, let's listen to them all together.
And I wouldn't say I'm basking in the glow.
So listen just to the harmonies. We'll do the leads as well.
It's not much as far as great romances go. And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know.
Really gives you this kind of ethereal vibe.
In my sad
Down a
little
little
life of laying low. And in my sad little life
I'll just bring the
of
harmonies up
laying
a little
low.
bit.
And I wouldn't say I'm basking in the glow.
Harmonies.
I know it's not much as far as great romances go.
Now let's try it on the lead vocal.
And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know.
So I used F6 on this lead vocal to kind of get me where I wanted. You can hear it's a bit nasally and soft.
Laying low.
So let's give it a bit more clarity.
And in my sad little life of laying low.
It seems better already.
And I wouldn't say I'm basking in the glow.
Let's link them and see how far we can go.
I know it's not much as far as great romances go. And I just sort of
Bypassed?
hang around with the people that you know. In my sad little
Okay, let's put them both
life
together
of
and then
laying
we'll
low.
turn them off and on.
And in my sad little life of laying low. And I wouldn't say I'm basking
So this is with
in
Fresh
the
Air on.
glow.
Let's bring both those windows up.
I know it's not much as far as great romances
Let's
go.
bypass them.
And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know. In my sad
go back around.
little
I'll mute
life of laying low. And in my sad little life of laying
Maybe a
low.
bit too heavy-handed here. Turn that mid down a bit.
And I wouldn't say I'm basking in the glow. I know it's not much as far as great romances go.
And bypassed.
And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know.
Put it back again.
In my sad little life of laying
So you can really see what it can do there. It's really making up for all this other processing that I was doing. Instead, I can just add a little bit of fresh air and it just brings those vocals out, gives them this kind of huge, I don't know how you explain it, this clarity, but also this width and this amazing kind of sparkle. Now, I did want to try it on acoustic. I'm going to go to the acoustic. I think I heavily processed the acoustic in order to get it to not sound so dull. So I'm just going to check the processing. It's just tape. I use a lot of high end. What? I've just got heaps of tapes. Let me just have a look at the actual plugs. So I'll take air off and I'll take lift off. So we've got a bit more of a kind of normal sounding acoustic. Let's go to a section that has more acoustic. Do this bit. Okay, let's try fresh air on acoustic. Wow, that clarity, that string sound just comes through. That's like so much better already. I mean, acoustic's pretty far back in the mix, but this kind of sounds a bit underwater here or something. Much more clarity. Yeah, just so easy to use. Great. Let's put it in the mix. Might just turn it up a bit so you can hear it a bit better. So you can't even hear that string. I won't be able to trim. You can barely hear that come through. Might be a bit too much highs, but the last thing I want to try it on this track is a piano, then we're going to look at some loops. So the keys were the same. I had to kind of brighten them up a bit. I'm just going to move stuff around. So again, I used a lot of air, great plugin, and I used high lift, also great plugin, but we're going to try and use fresh air instead of these other Slate high-end boosting plugins. So let's try it here. I'm getting a few clicks. I don't know what the clicks are from. I think just because I'm running a lot of processing. Really brings out that little solo bit a lot. I really like it. Bit of noise coming through, of course, you're boosting the noise. I think that pops just from the loop for some reason. Let's try it in the mix. So it's on, maybe a bit more mid. turn the guitar down a little bit. Bypass. Let's go back to the next section and I'll open up again. Bypass.
No, it's not much as far as great romances go. When I just sort of hang around with the people that you know. In my sad little life of laying low.
Send it. Did it play out?
In my sad little life of laying low.
Sorry about the clicks and pops. I think it's just a bunch of processing going on. And so my basic point is here, Fresh Air livened up those pianos as well. So let's just hear what I did in this song with all the Fresh Airs. Now I think they're all the same. We're going to play it from that point. We're going to get, vocals. So anything that, just check. There we go. So yeah, so now we've got lead vocals, we've got harmonies, we've got an acoustic, and we've got on keys. Now again, like I said, it's probably a little bit hyped, but you can kind of hear what's going on. So I'm just going to play it out, and we're going to bypass and unbypass. So let's just at least pull up one copy so you can see when it's bypassed and non-bypassed.
In my sad
Let's bypass it first.
It's
bypassed.
I wouldn't say
Turn it on.
I'm basking in the glow. No, it's not much as far as great romances
Bring it down a little bit on the lead though.
When I just sort of hang around with the people
A
that
bit dull, a bit congested.
in my sad
Back on.
little life of laying low.
More air, open.
In my sad little life of laying low. And I wouldn't say
Bypass.
I'm basking in the glow.
A little bit nasal too with the when it's bypassed.
I know it's not much as far as great romances go. And I just sort of hang around with the people that you know. In my sad little life of laying low. And in my sad little life of laying low.
So as you can hear from that example especially, and a little bit from the last example, it is a kind of, if you really want those kind of hyped, airy, big sounding vocals, or you want kind of more clarity and air to some of your acoustic instruments, it's a must-have plugin. In a way, you can do what it's doing like I did with various other plugins and sort it out, but you just turn it up until it stops sounding, until it's too hyped, bring it back down, and it sounds great to me. So lastly, I did want to do a little bit of just getting some stock loops, seeing what it does. Okay, so now I have some vocal loops. These are all from WA Production. I have an affiliate link below if you want to get anything from WA Production. There's an affiliate link below, so go there. They have some pretty cool loops, and they have a bunch of free stuff. So some of these are from some of their free packs as well. So I'm just going to grab a section of these vocals. So this is a whole loop of various vocals, and we'll see what Fresh Air does there.
Give up on me now.
Pretty good sounding vocals, but let's see what Fresh Air can do.
Love you. Way too much to lose you. Now I still have too many great things to accomplish. Beautiful things to see, and if you ain't love to share, I can't do these things alone.
So we add a little bit of reverb as well.
Don't you give up on me now.
Reverb C classics.
You have come such a long way.
Let's go back to that section of the chorus, kind of. Turn off Fresh Air.
Can't wait too far and I love you. Way too much to lose you. Now I still have too many great things to accomplish. Beautiful things to see, and if you ain't allowed to share,
Bypassed.
I can't do these things alone. So don't you give up on me now.
Again, it does what it says. It just adds air, adds a bit of clarity, and gives it that kind of modern feel. There is that kind of that air that it belongs to a lot of modern production. Now we've got something from the Mantra Pack, which is a little bit more of that kind of Middle Eastern influence kind of dance music thing. So let's go see. Same settings on Fresh Air. Let's see what it does there. We'll just go bypass first.
ما بدي الوقت يضيع مني يضيع مني ما بدي تفوت دقيقة وانتي بعيدة عني نعومة ايديك لون عينيك ريحة شعرك
Yeah, that really adds something there, I reckon.
هذه شوفها بتقتل هذه شوفها بتقتل هذه شوفها بتقتل تقتل
A bit from this section here.
ما بدي الوقت يضيع مني يضيع مني ما بدي تفوت دقيقة وانتي
Wow, yeah, I love that.
وانتي
I love that.
بعيدة عني.
Cool, so we'll move on just to some loops. Now, these are already pretty hyped, but I just want to try it on there. I've just taken some stuff from the Mantra Pack, which is what that comes from, and I just want to try it on a few different elements. So I'm just going to loop a section, and we'll just add it to all of them, all the different elements. I like the mid-air for a lot of these instruments because there isn't a lot of highs. Okay, what about the percussion? Oh, that's not percussion, this is the kick. Kicks can have high end. I mean, not kick. This is the bass. Sorry. Okay, here is the drums, which are claps. Let's try it on the claps. And last, we're just going to try it on percussion. And again, we're going to put them all on, turn them all off. So that has been Fresh Air. Again, there's many cases you can use this. Anything dull sounding, maybe it's a dull piano or guitar, you can kind of get it back where you want it, or anything you want to have that hyped sound, to have that wide, open, airy sound without just adding a lot of treble and causing, a lot of ice pickness or harshness. The way this kind of compresses that high end while boosting it is very like that Dolby enhancer trick, and it sounds great to my ears. And like I said, at the moment it is free, I believe. Go check out Slate Digital. Again, it's iLock and stuff, so it can be a bit confusing. I own the Slate pack, and I've got an iLock, so for me, I just download it and it works. But for those that don't, there is a bit of a process. I think it's all on the website, but you can always contact Slate support. They're very good at responding. So thanks for watching, and look out for my review of the new Slate LA2A clone. It looks amazing, and I can't wait to use it on a video. So I'm going to be shooting that sometime this week, and I'll see you next time.